Well, hello, folks. Just a quick one. Um, my partner was commenting on the news, and you read about and see on the news flustered parents from Florida and other places, Michigan and wherever, who are tired of the so-called woke agenda in the schools. You know, their kids being exposed to all of this LGBTQ stuff and critical race theory and things like that. And it's easy to understand why they're worried, because they don't know anything about these subjects, and they're worried that their kids are going to be given some toxic ideas. But I've always thought that, kids, even before the internet, when I was growing up, get exposed to stuff. And so when I was in school, I had educated professional teachers teaching me about biology and chemistry and whatnot, even in grade school, arithmetic and whatnot, or middle school, but grade school, right? I did a sex ed course in 6th grade, but it was taught from a biology point of view, right? And it was really good. It's one of the most memorable experiences of my grade school education. So my point is, we can't afford school lunches anymore. We can't afford to pay teachers, so we can't afford professional teachers that know their subjects well, that can really teach their subjects because they've read in their subjects, they've been exposed to them, they've studied them. I think, there is a period of time where you're too young for certain things. That's why we have PG-rated and R-rated movies and whatnot. But these days, kids can get all this information from the internet. So if you're going to be a homeschooling parent, you'd better take the smartphone and the pads and the computers away from the kids, or put good firewalls and good security on there so that they can't access almost all of the internet. Because if they have any chat software at all, any means of networking with their friends, they're going to be exposed to these bizarre ideas, postmodernist ideas that are out of control. I'll show you an article in a minute that talks about this. But, to me, the answer to this problem is funding education, public education. Now, everybody can go home and do the homeschooling thing. Parents nowadays have to be tactical gunfighters. They have to be lawyers, doctors. They have to be experts in epidemiology and virology. And now they have to be educators, professional teachers. It's a lot to put on top of an individual family. Mom, dad, they're experts in everything. No, they're not. And they have to work for a living. Nowadays, 2 jobs, mom and dad, because everything's inflated, including education, housing, and food. And it's not going to get any easier for families, unfortunately. So, without a public education, without funding publicly, through taxing billionaires and millionaires probably, education, you're not going to have professional teachers in the school that can treat those subjects properly. Explain the context, where it came from, why it might be extreme, why it might have a point to a certain degree. And ongoing training for professional teachers so that they can be better and continue to grow in their profession. It's so frustrating to me. I understand why these homeschooling parents are frustrated, but I'm also frustrated because people can't, you just don't want to invest in education anymore. Florida, you want to ban books and take books off the shelves in the library as if you can protect people from knowledge, information, history, culture, and so on, which you can't. It's not going to work. It's a waste of time. What you need is better education. You need to fund it. You need to put money in there. So if you need trillions of dollars a year from the world to prepare for a warmer globe, and nothing's going to stop that, deniers. Sorry. You also need to invest in education if you're going to have a world full of technology, AIs, robotics, and other things. Otherwise, we're going to be puppets, idiots, fools, surrounded by black boxes and technology we don't understand. And then the separation between elites and the plebs and proles will really become dramatic. So I understand why people are concerned about the woke agenda and so on, or other things in the culture wars. But the answer isn't to go home or to go to your gated community in Idaho and strap up and get ready for the Civil War. The answer is to figure out how to invest in society. If that sounds leftist or whatever, okay, fine. But, the fact is, the government finances a lot of things, like military technology, and nobody complains about it. But when it comes to something like this, you have this false idea, this delusion that you can be all things. And mommy, daddy, you can't. You're not going to be Delta Force tactical fighter and a lawyer and a doctor, an expert in whatever, plus the best educator you've ever seen, even with your labor-saving devices that you probably hate because of modernity, but maybe you don't. When the washing machine wears out, just throw it away and buy a new one. There's so many contradictions here that it frustrates me when I think about it. But we need to help each other out. So yeah, if you're going to have your gated community in Boca Raton or wherever in Florida, and start your own charter school to teach the kids around the neighborhood the proper way to think and behave, go ahead. But you're going to have a fragmented, even more fragmented society with less coherence and cohesion. And it doesn't make for a good future, especially when you look at the challenges that we're facing ahead. So off to the article.
And so there's this. Is biology sexist and racist? The escalating battle over inclusive terminology and the language of science. Genetic Literacy Project. So is biology sexist and racist? How can a science, the study of life, be sexist or racist? But again, this is all about the woke stuff. And it's exaggerated. It's gone too far, obviously, in academia and so on. Like I said, but obviously, this fashion trend has to end somehow. But here's an example in this article. It's a good one to read when we're talking about what we're talking about. So mind your language. So terms, our sneaky mating strategy can normalize problematic male sexual behavior. I don't believe that for a minute. When you're studying biology in the context of what biology is, the study of life, it's not the same as psychology or sociology or criminology or other hip memes and cultural affects that we have to endure day by day. So he says, are we to believe that the ecological term sneaking, used to refer to males that avoid other dominant males in competition for females, has the real world effect of normalizing unwanted male sexual behavior in human beings. So, like, all masculinity is toxic, but this is a good article to look at it. And this caught my eye here. I like it. Manufacturing offense. So, in short, this example does not highlight exclusionary language. Rather, it demonstrates how easy it is to claim offense if you are determined to be offended. Okay, Booleum T, out.